we are searching for God. How to find God? What is nature of God? For as long as the humankind exists, there has been this search for God, looking for God, trying to find God. No matter what we call it, it does not really make any difference. The nature of what we are looking for, absolute, limitless, joy, bliss, peace, calmness, balance. It's God. It doesn't matter the word. Where can we find it? Why is it so persistent in us? Why even in today's age where somehow many people try to convince themselves that mind is God, human mind is God. Oh, please. Why still? This search, this looking for God, absolute, limitless, timeless, spaceless, is still on as much as ever. Why at times when we are in dire need, in dire stress, in a situation that just seems hopeless, we all turn somewhere, usually upwards, and say, oh God, please. Why do we find ourselves talking to God, willingly or unwillingly? There has to be an explanation for that, isn't it? And there is. The explanation is very simple. God is within us. We all have God within us. As I say, no matter what we call it. And instead of God being something that divides us, as in many different religions, many different names we call it, it should really unite us, because it is the common bond. It is what we all share. We all share God. God is everything. We are all God. God is within each one of us and within everything that surrounds us, visible or invisible. All is God. So why is it so hard to find God, to communicate with God, to connect with God? Why so many people get so disappointed by turning to different religions and then finding out that they have not delivered what they promised you, that they have not really connected them with God, that they maybe presented themselves as some sort of intermediary within a God, between the God and the person, but no more than that. God is still somewhere elusive. The answer again is the same and always the same. The God is within us. The God is within you. The God is within each of us, and everything there is. It's all God. God is absolute, as limitless, as timeless, as spaceless, as a tiny point of consciousness. Actually has 5 different levels of consciousness. And the lowest level is the level of material existence, the experience of material world, material existence, body, mind. And then there are other levels that sort of pile up on top of this lowest level, material level, but they're all here. And because of these different levels of consciousness, that this sort of obviously a notion arose that the God is up there, because the God, the absolute awareness, is to be found at the highest level of consciousness. And the lowest level of consciousness, which is the material world, what we experience as the body, mind, the world that we live in and everything else, is the lowest level of consciousness. It's actually a dream of a reality, a dream-like reality that we take for absolute truth, for real, because we focus so much on it, we put so much attention to it. And because most of the attention, for the majority of people, the 99% of attention is put outside into the experience of material world. The God, the absolute, the limitless, the timeless, the spaceless is stayed so elusive, so somewhere else. when it's actually inside. We need to look inside to find God. We need to look inside to find the timeless, spaceless, absolute, whatever you call it. I mean, I settle on the word God. I think the God as a word, being, such an old word used through so many different civilizations, it's a good word to use. But the important thing is to always understand what it is. What is the definition of God? What is it that God represents? Something totally different than this perceived material world that we live in, that is changing all the time, that is up and down all the time, that nothing ever lasts, that nothing is ever good or bad or happy or unhappy or miserable or whatever. Everything fluctuates all the time. God is everything that is opposite of that. And yes, it is in all of us. It is in all of us. We don't need any intermediaries to connect with God. We can connect with God just by going inwards. We do need guidance, and we can just take guidance from people who are already on the path, who are already experiencing maybe even all 5 levels of consciousness, and they can guide us to connect with God within us and resolve this timeless and spaceless search for God. The biggest search in a human history is the search for God. Not for things in the material world, but the things in the spiritual world. God. That's how it is. That's how it is. And no matter how much you're taken by this outside world that seems to offer so much in the way of material things, material experiences, material possessions, material whatever, it is all passing. It just lasts till your life cycle from birth to death lasts, which is not long. And apart from all that, beyond all that, it's a timeless, spaceless, limitless entity, which is God, which is all of us. So never lose track of that. Never lose sight of that. Never lose sight of God, awareness of God. God is always within you, always. What is God. Everything is God. We are all united in God. This is from me for today. God is the word. Talk soon. Bye-bye.